If this happens and it goes the wrong way, that's the red line being crossed. There's a case working through the court system right now that can have a massive negative impact on our ability to have a free press. Now, let me set the stage. The case that's working through the court system involves Steve Wynn, who is a Trump ally and casino mogul who is challenging the defamation rules that have been in place for decades. And the defamation law that has been in place has to do with Times versus Sullivan. The Times versus Sullivan case has been established precedent in the US for 60 years. And essentially, what it says is that for a libel or defamation judgment to be granted, the person bringing the charges needs to demonstrate that the press, the members of the press that are the other party to the case, put out that reporting with malice as part of their intent. So, what does that mean? That means that if I bring a lawsuit against a news station or a news outlet, and I'm a person that is in the public eye, I have to prove that that reporting was put out maliciously with the intent of some sort of negative impact that they wanted to see. They deliberately put out false information. And the deliberate publishing of false information is critical here, because what it does is that it sets up a reasonable moat around the free press. Now, the Wynn case that is working its way through the court system seeks to overturn that 60-year precedent and make it a lot easier for people to litigate members of the press and members of the media for reporting that they don't like. And if Wynn were to win that case, what it means is that anybody, anywhere can sue the press, right or wrong, and tie them up in court. And what this will do is create a chilling effect in the press in reporting anything that is remotely negative. We always talk about how is it possible that these countries that are ruled by dictators have quote unquote state-run media. This is how. If you want to set up state-run media, you got to do two things. One, you need to have you or your allies occupy all the positions of power in the media channels that distribute the information. So we've seen that happen with radio, where a vast majority of radio stations are owned by Sinclair Broadcasting. We've seen it across a number of TV networks where their billionaire owners are staunch Republican or Trump supporters. We're seeing it in social media where you have billionaires who are aligned with dictators and dictatorships owning social media platforms and controlling the flow of information. The one pillar that's left is print media to a certain extent. If you want to destroy a free press, make it much easier for plaintiffs to sue and win defamation and libel cases. That's what's at stake here. If we see the Wynn case make it to the Supreme Court and the Supreme Court decides to get rid of the New York Times versus Sullivan decision, a precedent that's been in place for 60 years, consider it game over. We are full out into developing world dictatorship land in the US. That is the red line that cannot be crossed. And if it's crossed, you better make sure that all of your paperwork's ready, because this ride's over and it's time to get off.